What is going on, dudes and dudettes? It is Deadbolt here, bringing back some more SCP reactions, and today we are bringing you SCP-1879, the Indoor Salesman. Keter, it's Keter level. How is the Salesman Keter level? But, alright, Indoor Salesman. Yeah, I'm gonna do that thing where I try to guess what it is. I'm guessing it's a salesman, and it goes like house to house, you know, like the old school ones. And it tries to sell you something, and if you say no, you die. And if you say yes, you probably also die, or you suffer some fate that is worse than death, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. But I mean, it's Keter level, so that makes me think you die either way. But like, I feel like Keter levels are like world ending, like that's what Keter means, you know. So like, how is a salesman that kills you one by one Keter, like, you know, you'd have to have some sort of a high damage output AoE attack, but I guess we'll see. Let's get into it. Oh yeah, this video is by the Vulcan, by the way. Like and subscribe to them.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-1879. Object Class: Keter. Special Containment Procedures.
Look at that smile.
Due to the nature of the anomaly, SCP-1879 cannot be contained by the Foundation at this time. Foundation agents are to monitor police reports within the state of Washington for signs of possible SCP-1879 infection. When an instance of SCP-1879-1 is found, Mobile Task Force Row 4, also known as Shoes Salesman, are to be dispatched to the location to deal with SCP-1879-1 at the minimum possible cost to those involved. All items obtained from these interactions are to be incinerated if feasible and dismantled if not. Civilians that come into contact with SCP-1879-2 are to be administered Class A amnestics after Foundation questioning.
At least they can live. But I've noticed that a lot of my guesses are very wrong, because it turns out that like the SCP is actually like an infection, like it infects you through like whether it's the internet or touch or, you know, something like that. But yeah, it's interesting. They can't actually contain it. Damn. The SCP Foundation finally met their match.
Description: SCP-1879 is a phenomenon that affects houses in the state of Washington, USA. It has been noted to only affect interior doors, which are hereby designated SCP-1879-1. These doors are visually unchanged. However, when a sapient organism comes within 2 meters of an SCP-1879-1 instance, repeated knocking emanates from the object. This continues indefinitely until a subject opens the door. At this point, a male humanoid entity, hereby designated as SCP-1879-2, will emerge from the SCP-1879-1 instance. The entity is approximately 1.7 meters in height and appears to be of Caucasian descent and indeterminate age.
He's like the frickin' butler, kind of. He just appears. And also, I like how they said interior. That doesn't mean like the front door. That could mean like your freaking basement door. Imagine that. You're going down to do some laundry, you open the door, and there's just a salesman just there to sell you something. Well, I'm guessing he's not, you know, there to sell you. He's probably there to murder you, but you know, still, that's kind of funny. And this image, it looks so cool. It reminds me of Twisted Metal 3. I played the game a lot when I was a kid, and I probably shouldn't have, because it was pretty violent. But yeah, he looks like a PS2 character, but I still think it's cool.
After emerging from the door, SCP-1879-2 will attempt to sell a product to the subject. These products appear to vary wildly in purpose and origin, as the entity has presented a variety of objects. The entity will dramatically explain the purpose and appeal of the product to the subject, often cornering them and suggesting they sit down before doing so. The explanations and tactics utilized are often not particularly persuasive, and the entity uses underhanded methods to sell its product. After fully explaining, the entity will then offer a price. Said price rarely consists of currency and is often detrimental to the subject or the subject's health.
Oh.
The entity consistently refuses to elaborate or comment on the definition of its prices unless it decides to raise them, which it often does if the product is not accepted and paid for quickly. SCP-1879-2 is persistent in its efforts and refuses to leave the subject alone until the product is purchased. However, if it is sufficiently threatened or wounded, the entity will temporarily retreat back into SCP-1879-1, which will then revert back into a non-anomalous door.
Oh, you're getting
later
closer.
return within the same house via a different door and confront the subject, attempting more aggressively or even threatening them to purchase their product, as well as increasing the price. Once the product is purchased, the entity will thank the subject and exit the area through an SCP-1879-1 instance.
Damn. So, but like the price, it's not money, it's like, I want your blood. Like, or something like that. Because I said it was detrimental to their health. And the only way to get it to go is to hurt it. It'll just come back. Freaking, what is it called? A Zenkai boost? Like in Dragon Ball? Damn. This guy is scary too. They're doing that thing where the image just starts getting closer and closer. Yeah, let's get back into it.
Retrieval log, 1879, row. The following log is a short list of items obtained from deals with SCP-1879-2, along with the described price and the results. Object received, 1 red rose. Price statement. All I'm asking for is your heart. Results. Subject expired due to the demanifestation of his cardiovascular system.
Jeez.
Object received. 220 bananas. Price statement. Give me some sugar, sweetie.
Oh.
Results. All candied goods within the house disappeared.
Okay. Okay, I'm kind of glad that happened. I was thinking he was asking for some different kind of sugar. I was like, I thought he was like, come on, honey. Just give me a little sugar. Wink, wink. That would kind of suck still. Like, everything with sugar is gone in your house? Come on, what if I was planning on making a pie that day?
Received. 1 thermonuclear explosive. Price statement. I want your soul. Results. Subject hesitantly complied after encouragement. No notable effects happened at the scene of the exchange. However, the subject later discovered 2 of her Aretha Franklin albums, Lady Soul and Almighty Fire, to be missing.
Okay, so he's a bit monkey's paw, but he's not that much of a dick about it. That's pretty cool. Like, he'll ask for your soul, but he doesn't mean your actual soul. He means your freaking music that has soul in it. That's kind of cool, but it's pretty dickish that you actually murdered that other guy. Like, he's literally he takes things literal when it's convenient for him, and he sometimes just wants to be a dick.
Audio log, 1879 ETA. The following log was taken during the initial attempts of Foundation agents to apprehend and discern the nature of SCP-1879-2. Agent Rogers was equipped with audio recording devices at the time of the event. This incident took place at Seattle, Washington, the home of Shirley Yates. Mrs. Yates had previously called the police several times urgently, describing a salesman that wouldn't get out of her house and kept disappearing into random doors. Foundation agents intervened to investigate the possible anomaly. Upon arrival at the scene, agents noted a male humanoid entity, SCP-1879-2, that was carrying a juvenile border collie and holding it in front of Mrs. Yates while speaking rapidly. Playing log now.
Pause. I just can't get the image of that out of my head. He was holding a border collie. That reminds me of that Family Guy clip of that girl shoving her dog down that guy's throat?
Look at it! Look at that face! Come on! Look at that face! You look at him! Look at that face!
He was just holding a dog while speaking rapidly. He was like, bite his dog. Oh my god.
Turning away from Yates to address Agent Rogers. All good, maybe you'll listen to me. See, I got this dog, right? But I can't keep it, so I thought maybe Shirley'd like this. I just popped over and offered to give it to her. Okay, maybe not give, per se. A guy's still gotta get by, right? Anyways, I offered it and... That's not... Hold on, before you say anything, let me tell you about this puppy. He's a purebred and the most playful little scamp you'll ever see. Entity yells over his shoulder. Even if he's apparently not good enough for some people. If you don't listen, Entity holds up dog to Agent Rogers' face. Just look at him. He's so sad. Look, he's potty trained and everything. I just don't want to see him sad. And I really can't have him anymore. Personal reasons, you know. Really, all I'm asking for is some of your time. You'll barely even notice him around.
He's asking for time.
Raising his voice. Would you just... Some of your time is all I'm... Entity is forced to the ground by Foundation agents who proceed to gag the entity with a towel taken from the house's kitchen. Talking to fellow agents. Okay, f*** it. We're taking him back to the site to interrogate him. Agents attempted to escort SCP-1879-2 out of the house. However, upon exiting the front doorway, the entity demanifested. Agents were not able to locate it within the house in the following investigation of the house. SCP-1879-2 later reportedly manifested within the house after approximately 6 hours, and Foundation agents returned to the scene. Speaking to Mrs. Yates, who was cowering in a corner at the time. Ma'am, please, he just needs a home. I have to sell him. It doesn't cost any money, I promise. Just 12 years of your time. Talking to fellow agents. Try to keep him in the room this time. Shirley, just take the dog, and I'll be gone. Swear on my life. Mrs. Yates took the animal. Immediately she disappeared. Pleasure doing business with you.
Yeah, because she was an old lady.
The closet before agents could apprehend it. After passing through the doorway, SCP-1879-2 demanifested. Class A amnestics were administered to Mrs. Yates' family. End log. Audio log. 1879, Psi. The following log was taken during a successful Foundation interception of an SCP-1879-1 activation event.
I have a question though. So, he appears at a house, but does he follow the inhabitants? Like, if he appears in a house and they're like, screw this, you know, as any reasonable person would. Screw this, I'm moving away, I'm moving somewhere else. Will he follow them?
Howdy.
Will he follow them, or will he just stay in the house? I mean, no, he probably actually, yeah, because he keeps showing up to sell that person, huh? Never mind, okay. Yeah, he'd probably still follow them.
Playing log, now. Rapid, constant knocking sounds emanating from SCP-1879-1.
I would have just ignored it, honestly.
Damn it, hurry up. I have to meet the coroner by tomorrow, or else I'll have to stay in this world for the next century. Hey! I know you're there. Spare a moment of your time? Why does the boss even need this shit anyways? It's not like he has any use for them anymore. A musical scale is heard emanating from SCP-1879-1. Knocking ceases. Yes, boss? I know. That's not what you meant by soul. I just thought you'd get a kick out of... Yes. Yes, sir. I will. Yes. I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
That's creepy.
Please don't hurt it. I'll meet the quota this time, I swear. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Goodbye, sir. I better get to move up to at least accounting this time. Just get me out of this place already. I've paid my dues and then some. Knocking recommences until Agent Rogers opens the door. Hello, Mr. Oh!
And he knows their names, the people
Hi.
who live here.
Hello. Now, I'd like to ask you...
Now, see here. Let's think logically. You know I'm not going to tell you anything. I know you're not likely to buy what I'm selling, so let's just move on to greener pastures. I'm coming up close to a deadline, and I'm sure you're swamped with making sure good people don't do their jobs. So I'll just be on my way and let you do that. Ciao! Entity attempts to close the door. Agent Rogers holds door open and grabs SCP-1879 too.
Okay, wait, I have an idea of how to contain it. So, they can wait until a member of they could just evacuate Washington. Which sounds over the top, but in the SCP universe, I feel like it's not. Just have a bunch of SCP agents in Washington and wait for him to manifest in one of their houses, and then because he's gonna try to sell that person, whoever lives there, until they either die or just indefinitely. So do that, and then that agent take him back to the SCP Foundation, and then he'll follow him, and then there. Boom. They could watch it for, until it probably goes mad and kills it. But also, they haven't shown, like, he hasn't expressly demonstrated any violent acts. He's just, like, threatened and, like, seems very unstable. So I still don't know why he's Keter right now.
That is not happening.
Personnel retrieve and detain SCP-1879-2 within the room.
Now, are you gonna talk to me?
Look, I'm busy, so I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you something. No money out of your pocket, and we'll call it even. Sound good? Within 1 to 3 seconds of this statement, approximately 2,000 coins of assorted origin manifested within the pockets, epidermis, and digestive tract of all subjects at the scene, excluding SCP-1879-2.
Oh.
All Foundation personnel involved were confirmed to be deceased. SCP-1879-2 was reportedly encountered later that day on a house further down on the same street, but had apparently demanifested before Foundation agents could reach the scene.
Never mind.
And log. This concludes today's lecture. Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye.
I take that back, because apparently he can just... And coins in your belly and every orifice. Just boom. Have fun. Man, I should really stop guessing on these SCPs. I always get them wrong, but that's okay. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Vulcan. Another good video. That's crazy though. He just appears and disappears and they can't control him. That's the scariest part, when the SCP Foundation just... I don't know, just when the SCP Foundation doesn't even know what to do. But, alright guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Any feedback would be greatly appreciated, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.